Excellent. Looking good, looking good. Tweak over here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. You guys are looking fantastic. All I need you to do is check in, tell me where you're watching from around the world. This is going to be a literally every single step tutorial. There's nothing on the canvas right now. So I'm going to show you everything that we need to do. We need to take our Bob Ross liquid white. We're going to take the lid off. Ooh, it's very runny paint. Right? All we're going to do is dip in just about a 1/4 inch into the bristles, right? Just a little bit. That's probably even too much. Let's take some of that off. Because you can always add more. You can never really take it away once it's up there. So let's deposit this paint. We need it just a touch more. Just a little bit. There we go. A little bit of paint. That's all you're going to need. And then you're going to spread it across the entire canvas without really lifting your brush. You know what I mean? If you go like this and you flip, it can flip off. It's a very wet white paint. So we need to cover our dry canvas with this oil blending medium is what it is. It's a wet surface that we're going to be painting on today. And we teach the wet on wet technique, meaning that we take our wet paints and we apply them to a wet surface, right? So the more that you can spread this stuff around, the more easy your job is going to be by the time we get down there. Man, we're already pineapples, guys. It's already happened. This one's going to be fun. Now I'm going to show you how to test every single portion of the canvas to make sure that we have just enough of this liquid white on our canvas. Now let's say you accidentally put too much. You're like, oh no, what have I done? Right? It's okay, you can wipe it with a paper towel if you think you got too much on there, but I'm going to show you how to test it and make sure you have just the right amount. Yeah. Could not get the lid onto my jar. So you guys check in, tell me where you're watching from. Of course, Josh is never ready. I've got to get color out onto my canvas. We're going to be using our Prussian blue today. Now you're way over here. A little bit of that paint. We're going to be using our crimson, our black, our Prussian blue, and probably our sap green and cad yellow as well. Just to roll through. I'll show you all the colors on the palette here in a second. Let me just grab these on here. And while I'm doing that, you guys just check in and just tell me where you're from around the world. Where are you watching from? Around the world. The more times you guys comment and talk to each other, the more people are going to come in and watch the show. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, guys. So, man, it's looking good. Looking good over there. Watching from Kentucky, Tennessee. Oh, excuse me. Hurricane Mills, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Florida, Arizona again. Bing, bang, boom. Brazil, Puerto Rico. That's cool. Watching from Michigan, Mississippi, Virginia, Idaho, Poland, Ohio, Georgia over there on Facebook, Ohio over there on YouTube. You guys are all over the place, literally. You're legit everywhere. So since we've got our 4 main colors, which is all we're going to need by the time we do our sky and our mountain, then we'll go through the other colors that we might use. We may use our dioxazine purple from the Gamblin set, maybe our sap green, cadmium yellow, maybe our 2 brown colors as well, the dark sienna and then the Van Dyke brown. And then we'll go Prussian blue, alizarin crimson, midnight black, titanium white. That's actually the ivory black from the Gamblin set too. So very first thing we're gonna do is go through, grab a little bit of paint and drag it down into an area where we can load it. We already have liquid white on the brush, so that's okay. We're gonna come up here and just very lightly, because the canvas is wet, right, very lightly deposit it. We don't wanna put on a whole, push on with a whole bunch of pressure, or you'll end up with too much paint in a certain area. Let's leave a big old sky, big old cloud. Oh, I'm already liking it. Let's take this guy from the bottom too. Why don't we drag him in very lightly, leaving a big section uncovered. I don't want to have too much paint on the canvas by the time we get down there, right? That's very cool. Very neat looking, that's all we need. And then we'll go back and we'll blend it, and blend it, and blend it. But in order to blend it, we need a clean, dry brush. So let's first get some color along our canvas, along the edges, because I never like to leave the edges white. It just looks sloppy by the time that you get done if you don't have the color around the sides. So just take a second, get the color over there. Let's add one more little touch. Let's get some black onto our brush, but just a small amount. You can barely see it. It's a bigger pile over here, barely any black on the brush. And then we can always go back and add more. But this ivory black from the Gamblin set is so dark. It is such a dark black color that it will stay black even when you're starting to mix it with your liquid white covered canvas, right? A little bit of that black down here. Again, don't need too much. Just a little touch of it because it's going to want to grow. We're just giving it a little starting point. Now let's go wipe off our brush, clean it off, and I'll show you want to go blend it out just as softly as you want. The whole reason we leave those big white areas of unpainted canvas is because we don't want too much paint on the canvas, right? If we have too much paint on the canvas, it's going to cause us an issue later on. Isn't that the coolest looking thing you've ever seen? It doesn't have to be the coolest thing you've ever seen. Now, remember I told you how we were going to test the canvas and make sure? Let's do that now. All right, we have just the same amount of paint across the entire canvas. You can put some down here too, right? Everywhere that was, our canvas was dry, we made it wet. And that way, all these paints would slide across it. So if you can see just the ridges of your fingertip or every little dimple that's in the canvas, when you touch it, that's exactly the right amount that you want to have. We're going to come in here into our lightest area first, and sure, it's going to grab some blue and drag it into this area. Maybe we'll get some darker blue and it will drag down into that area as well. But our main goal by leaving this white is having less paint in that area, right? So even though it's changed color a little bit, there's still not as much paint there as there is over here, right? So the more that we can allow these paints to push and slide and blend, right, the more it's going to change that bright color in our sky into a darker color. You get to decide how bright you want it to be, how dark you want it to be, how blended, how this, how that. All up to you guys every single time that you go to do it, right? Anytime you get any streaks where you have too much paint, or maybe there's an area up here that's got too much, spread it out. You can push it and move it, right? Get down there and crisscross it, and then we'll have a really cool looking sky. Look at that heck. Deep and dark and stormy. And remember, we're not really gonna go across the bottom until we get all the way down there, and 3 different parts of our sky automatically just out there in the night. Well, the day, whatever we're painting out here. All right, we're gonna take our titanium white paint, gonna get a lot of it on the brush, right? If you want your white clouds to stay white, first we're leaving an area with less paint in it, right? Because we left it blank to begin with, and then we're gonna come in with a lot of white paint. It instantly wants to start turning blue as it mixes with the canvas. So about midway through, you gotta spin the brush around and try to allow this stuff to fall off, to get off of the brush and stick to the canvas, right? Want it to be a little bit brighter? Let's get a little bit more paint out there. And we'll mix it down with a little bit less pressure. And that's all it is putting out the paint, mixing it, right? We're gonna come back in here and make it soft. And as it mixes, it's gonna pick up the blue that's underneath it, the grays, the dark, the this, the that. It's going to stay bright along the top because we're going to touch it with less pressure, push harder along the bottom, and as you get down there, you'll start to see a little cloud appear in the night. And the more that you push on it, the more it's going to fade away, right? So if you want it to be softer or further away in the distance, work it a little bit more, push it out a little bit further, and then you can come in with something a little closer. What if we did this guy over here like this? It's kind of floating back, literally just a little poof, a little thing out there. Because again, it never has to look like a certain thing. Lighter on the top, harder on the bottom. You push it down, right? Get it down there, little thing. That's it. That's all you have to do, literally. Right? Don't pay too much attention to your sky. Throw something out there, love it, and then continue, right? Because the next time that you go to do a painting, you could make your sky different, right? Or you could try to do the exact same thing and it'll come out differently anyway. Now, who knows the 3 colors that we're mixing up right here on our palette in order to make what we call Paint with Josh Plaque? The Paint with Josh Plaque mix. Oh my God, we got a violation on TikTok already, guys. Are you kidding me? What is going on with this thing? Literally. Man, you guys are looking good. Remember, if you're watching over on the tube, give me a thumbs up. That's all you gotta do. Make sure you hit that like button, right? The more times you hit the like button, the more people that hit the like button, the more people will come and watch. That's what the YouTube videos are all about, that hitting that like button, right? Not giving me a thumbs up, but actually hitting the button that says like. Okay, let's take our dark color. We may have to restart the TikTok stream again, which is ridiculous. But if you're not already following me on TikTok, follow me now, because we might have to restart it. And then you're gonna miss out if you don't know or you don't remember who I was, or remember the name. You're gonna miss out on the rest of the tutorial. So let's take our black, blue, and crimson paint. We're gonna cut right through it. So we got this little roll out on the end. And let's decide, you have to get up there and push your clouds into the distance, right? any which way you can. So you got to get up there taller than some of those clouds and drop down beneath them, right? Little things, doesn't have to be a perfect little point or anything. And all we're doing is just going to scrape away this paint in the direction that we want it to flow down, right? And already starting to look like a little mountain out there. Until you get up here with your 1-inch brush. Take this guy and go, start sliding it down. This whole thing to fade off in this direction. Push harder as you get down to the bottom, right? You never have to go full edge to edge anyway. And then we'll come off this side, maybe slide this guy. How far does it want to go? That depends on how much paint you put up there. How much pressure you're using to pull on the paint that's up there and allow it to drag out, right? And all of a sudden we got a cool little looking mountain already, and it just determines where, or it depends on where you pull with your brush, right? Where are you pulling with that brush? In what direction are you taking our brains and pulling them or pushing them off into a different direction, right? Your brush strokes, this is pissing me off up here, so I gotta fix it. There, it's gotta be a nice sharp, there, nice crisp little line. That's much better. Much better in my brain anyway. Now we can make one side, this will be our lighter side, this will be our darker side, and then we can decide what we want it to look like. That's looking really cool so far. All right, now all we need to do in order to highlight this guy is make up a couple little shadowy areas of paint. We have to have our snow, and then we have to have our shadows of our snow. So let's make the shadows first. We'll take a little bit of our white, a little bit of blue, right? Much less blue than there is white in there. And that way we'll make this sky blue color, right? No matter if it's your phthalo blue or your ultramarine blue or your Prussian blue like I'm using, no matter what, right? You're gonna have this sky blue color. Then we're gonna wipe off it later. We're gonna come back over here. We're gonna grab up the titanium white, not all of it. We're gonna have to get some more, because you need about double whatever you grab to make your snow shadows. And then we're gonna get 1 or 2 little grabs of that very, very, very light blue that we had created. And this is going to taint the blue, the white color just the smallest bit. So it will still look bright against its blue counterpart self. You see how that works like that? Then we're going to come up here, we're going to start laying down. Since this is my darker part of my sky, and that's sort of a lighter version or lighter area of the sky, I'm imagining all my light coming down and hitting on this guy. You could do it completely differently, however you like it to be, right? All we're going to do first is grab up our shadow color, just like that. We're going to come up here, we're going to stick it to the canvas, and let it kind of flow down and just break off, just grazing against it, right? Wherever it wants to be. Don't try to force it into a certain area. You can drop off little things. Wherever it doesn't get picked up is a rock that's too steep or too exposed for the snow to have covered. You know what I mean? All things are up to us. All these little shadows that you don't cover up, right? Every little thing out there is whatever you feel like it should be, right? All the time, every time you do it. Let's grab a little bit of that white color that we had created. Come off the top of this guy and just again graze downward, very lightly floating it, right? It's floating, it's falling down. It all depends on our directional swipes, right? If we're directionally swipe, check this out, it's gonna be a big old shadowy section right there. Oh, I can just see it. I can see it, guys. What if we came back with a little bit of that blue color, right? It just came in here, that other direction. Like a little ledge in there now, do you see? Do you see? We're gonna come underneath it, cover over some of it so you can't see where it came from. Now it's got that little touch of that blue in there. Really helps, guys, I'm telling you. Remember, you never have to go all the way to the side, and you can lay it on as thick as you want it to be or as lightly as you want it to be, right? All up to you every time. Oh, look at it. Now, it's very much a straight, right? So what if we came over into our shadows a little bit and changed our directional swipes to horizontally instead of diagonally, right? And now you can start to build different things. Now what if we came underneath this guy with that blue shadow color, came down, dropped it down, and then came over at one more thing at a little bit straighter of an edge, right? So you can project another little bit, another little something out there. And again, it's all up to what we want it to look like every time that we go to do it. And remember, you're going to miss out and you're going to lose a lot of this stuff along the bottom. So if you end up mush it along the bottom versus anywhere else. I'm just telling you, because I'm a nice guy, Add a little bit more in there, here, there, wherever, right? Looks like we can get one, maybe just one little touch of light back there. I have no white paint, or not enough anyway, just off the back side of the blade. Oh, yes. Look at him back there, just catching light off a different plane. Just a different plane will come through like this. Whip this, there it is. Whip that guy down like that, making the other one look further in the distance. I love it already. Now that we're out of paint, we literally made the perfect amount of the two piles. And now that we're out of that, we've got to come back and soften some of these details, right? You have to take away some of these things in order for them to work properly, right? So like I said, if you guys are not already following me over on TikTok, give me a follow, because we're going to end the stream over there, and then we're going to come right back for whatever reason. These silly violation notices, and that causes me agita, just problems. I don't like it. There. So we're going to end it, and then we'll come right back at you. So just make sure you give me a follow, that you're here. You don't want to miss out on the rest of this guy. Thing is ridiculous, man. I'm telling you, it is ridiculous. What's happening, everybody over there on YouTube and Facebook? You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. There we go. Okay, got that. Let's get over here. Let's do this again. Don't know why we have to keep doing this all the time, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay, we're gonna take our 2-inch brush now. Okay. Very, very light. He's just very bright in distance. I like him much better now. Much better. Now, what we're going to do here is take our 2-inch brush, and because we don't want to get our fingertips, which are overhanging, we don't want to get them dirty, right? I tried to wipe them off, and I wiped them in a paint-covered area. There we go. We don't want to get them dirty. So we're going to be able to judge our pressure a lot easier this way than we were if we were to be trying to brush it this way. That's very hard to judge, right? Up here, don't go too high. I'm telling you, you get up there too far and you're going to ruin something because you may not be judging your pressure just right yet, right? So if you're still new, don't try to go all the way up. Just get the area around the bottom, because all we need is to come in here and kind of tap at it. Tap, tap, right? Go underneath it, tap it again, go underneath it, tap it again. Now that we've gone to the tip of our mountain, we need to start tapping it this way, right? Tap it out there. Just literally smacking it. And all this is doing is making an area softer for our next layer of paint, right? If you don't do that, and you just try to put your next layer of paint right up into the snow part of your mountain, you're just not gonna like it. I'm telling you, I've been there, I've tried it, you're just not gonna like it, right? Little things, remember, you never have to go all the way to the edge. That's a cool looking little mountain right there. We never know how they're gonna come out, so that one is looking neat, guys. It's neat. Oh, dude, could we? Okay, let me get a clean brush. Let me get a clean brush. Let's wash off this 2-inch brush, and then we'll get it nice and dried up, and we'll be able to use it again. You guys. So while I'm washing this brush off, just check in. Tell me where you're watching from. Where are you from around the world? Remember, you can grab this one if you go to paintwithjosh.com. You gotta head over there. Be the very first person. There. Look at that. Fabulous, you guys. Oh, I threw my brush on the ground. That's not cool. Watching from Michigan. We got people from all over the place. Thank you all you guys over on Facebook. I love you. Thank you for the stars. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. I threw my paint-covered brush onto the floor, but that's okay. Now, what we're going to do here with this clean, dry brush is come in and move the blue to the blue, and move this side back and forth. And we're going to do it lightly enough that we don't get rid of this white area. So why don't we start in the white area first, which again is wet, right? The whole canvas is wet. So if we start over here, start pushing, moving this white paint around, then we start grabbing some of that blue from the edge, right? A little bit more pressure each time, dragging it across. Same thing from this guy. A little bit of pressure. We don't want to lose the whole white area. That's the whole point of leaving it empty, is that we don't want to lose that guy, right? Even like that, seriously, you will leave it, and then by the time we get down here with different things, trust in the process. But already, tell me it don't look like water already, because I won't believe you. It already does. And I already know that. Just like that, right? Little thing, and if we can leave this one space back here, just capture this one bright area by the time we get down to the bottom, that's going to be what we're looking for, okay? Now, let's take our let's take our Paint with Josh 1-inch brush because it's my, you know what, actually let's go fan brush first. Paint with Josh fan brush first. Right, we'll throw in some very far away forest back there, and then we'll throw in a little grassy meadow. This comes up along the edge of a river. It's gonna be gorgeous. So a little bit of our dark paint, really trying to get it onto the bristles of the brush so it makes it nice and sharp. And then we don't want to make them too low, right? So don't do too low. We don't want to go too high up into our snowy mountaintops either. We definitely don't want them to be all the same size, right? So don't make them the same size and try not to go too high up into the snow parts of your mountain. As you get back here, this is where you can start getting higher and higher as you get taller up the canvas, pushing them further and further and further up. Maybe we got a little hill that lives out here that all these little trees are sitting on. Maybe it's a little footy hill, who knows? Who knows what it is? All we know is that we don't want to have too much paint coming down too far, and just by crossing up like that, doesn't that just take those little guys and push them a million miles into the distance? I agree, it so does, doesn't it? Come down there, come over here. We don't need to go too far with these little guys. We really didn't even need to go that far, literally. Like, you don't have to go across the entire canvas. All we're gonna try to do is make them a little darker and a little sharper at the top right here. So they stand out against all those other little guys. Tap them down, tap them down. We're gonna fill in the bottom. We're gonna turn our brush on the edge so we're not dropping it too low. There, like it. Right? And you're probably looking at it like, what is going on here? Right? But if we come in here, very lightly drag up, get taller and taller and taller and taller and taller. And then I'm gonna take it and go outward instead of downwards. Right? I'm gonna tap it and tap it out. And the more we tap it out, and then back, and then out, back. I'm making a little oval, right? All we're doing is mixing it every time with that liquid white that's underneath. So if we need to, we can come in here and mix it even further up. Right? The more you do, the more you do. It's all on you. If you need to brighten it, we can always go back in with our titanium white and make it a little bit brighter. But as far as it looks right there, that is a pretty gorgeous little thing. Now, what happens if we were to come down and make a little, just a little meadow underneath that guy? The best part about these paints is they will all blend away. The more you do, the more you're gonna do. Very cool. Now, let's imagine we've got water back here. So what if we crisscross? Yeah, let's go back there. Let's take a little bit of this plaque mix onto the Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. We're also going to grab our sap green just right onto the brush and bring it over here into that dark pile. We don't need it to be too green. That's the whole thing. Right? Now, let's imagine the water goes however many times you want it to be. Very first thing we got to do though is put a far away little thing back here. You don't want to go down too far. You don't need it to be too big. You don't want it to be too green. See how we stay very flat in the distance back there? Very flat. Very flat in the distance, okay? Now, let's take that other brush. Let's try to grab the smallest there, smallest little bit. All right, this brush just has the mixing on it, right? We don't need to really worry about what's in there. Just pull it down a little bit, a little bit. All we're trying to get is a small amount of green kind of reflection underneath that guy. And remember, he's very, very, very far away. We can take a little bit of our titanium white, no liquid white, just titanium white. So it stays very far away. We don't make our lines too big or too bright, right? Then it's gonna look very far away. Now, let's come back over here. We got that dark mix. Let's get a little bit more green into it. Just a little. And every time you do it, it's another chance for you to do it differently. And I'll just go back up in here just a little bit further, just so we can hide him with our foreground stuff. There. If he's sitting out there with nothing, you're gonna struggle to go hide him later on when we're putting our foreground stuff in the very front, right? So we've got our dark color with our green. Let's pop down, right? First you have to go higher up than the horizon, and then you gotta dip down underneath. So if we came down like this, flattened it off, popped it back up. Little things, little things, little things. Boom, boom, boom. Getting bigger and bigger. It's like a little triangle, right? So however far you go out to the front, you're gonna have that same kind of angle on the way back, especially if you want it to look perspectively right? So if you're coming down this way, you gotta be going down this way. Not so severe, but headed down that way. Now you got this little thing. You can already see this patch of brightness, that glare from our cloud? Right there. Do you see? I see it. Little things, pop out, go back, out, go back, go back, go back. Little bits, don't do too much, okay? Don't go too far, don't have too much paint on the brush. You don't need all that stuff out there. You don't need all that negativity, having too much paint on the brush out there, right? Little taps, we can always go back and brighten it later on. We'll come back with one more time, a little bit of our titanium white, see if we can get away with it. When we get away with titanium white, we're gonna need our liquid white. It might help if I actually had titanium white on my brush. In fact, let's take some of this paint right here anyway. Go right over those water lines again. There. Gotta have that reflection in there. Just a little bit of that darker color is literally it. All you gotta do, you guys, right? All you're doing, add that little bit, a little bit of this cad yellow, just right over the top. There, just a couple little times. Literally just cad yellow on the brush. We don't want to have it be too bright. We want it to mix in with that green. Some little things, and we want to leave the dark areas too. We don't want everything to be all the same. That's the whole goal. Never have it all be exactly the same. It's looking pretty cool already, guys. Okay, let me grab some titanium. The old box down here. We never seem to put enough of it out on the palette when we're doing these shows. For certain. Plus, I'm running out. I need to go to Michael's so bad. I have a class tomorrow, and an in-person class right here in the studio. And I have 0 canvases. So I've got to go to Michael's and get some canvases first thing in the morning because I'm not going to be able to make it later on. So, like it, guys. Remember, darker, brighter. The front should be the brightest. Man, that's looking so cool. Just call it done like that. Okay, let's grab a little touch of our liquid white. The liquid white is a very, very, very runny white paint, which causes our titanium white, which is very thick paint, to become a little bit less thick in its consistency and more water-like, right? Like water tea. Come over here and just spread it and push it and cut through wherever you want to be, wherever you don't want to be. You're going to have little things, right? If you can keep them small enough by pushing hard on the blade, you'll have these very cool things. You can see, we can see more details here than we can back there. Little things. You can take that bit of blue or white back there and literally make it disappear because all these paints are still wet, remember. Oh, that's gonna be cool. Okay, let's come down. We're gonna need to make up some more of our dark mix anyway. Let's take our black, our crimson, our blue. We're gonna need a whole lot of it, literally a giant amount. While I'm mixing this, guys, mixing this up, you guys check in. Tell me where you're watching from. I'm gonna take a little bit of my sap green too. We're gonna work that into the color. A little bit. There we go. So check in. Tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? Let me know. And extra credit if you know what my favorite sandwich is already. Right? You already know my favorite sandwich, then let me know what it is, and you get extra credit in the comments. Now, let's put in one more little thing right here, and that's where our big trees are going to sit, and then we'll do one big massive tree over here. So, let's do it. We've already got the color, we've already mixed it up, and we've got a little bit of it onto our brush, taking the plaque mix and that sap green. Need both of them. Can't just have it stand out. Again, we got to start higher than this one. So we're going to kind of cut through this little guy. Get lower, get lower, get lower. There. Right? Back it up. Back it up from your little center point. Backing these things up and remembering a lot of this stuff in the background is going to be hidden by our trees that are going to sit on top of it. So you don't have to worry about what it looks like. As we come down in here, this is where we're going to want to worry what it looks like. This is the part that we're going to drag down and create our little reflections out of and different things, right? And we can decide how far up we want our trees to go or our grass to grow, this, that, and the other. You can literally put it all, we're going to cover it all though. So I'm just telling you, you don't have to do everything. You want to know my problem when I very first started painting? I was like, oh, I've got to paint the grass all the way to the end, and then this all the way to the side, and this all the way to the side. And then by the time I got to the front, you realize you don't need to do all that. Right? You don't have to do all that. You can even have a whole other thing of grass coming down this side too. And literally go all up to us every single time. I know what I'm going to put over here. I know we need to figure out something to put over here, right? So let's wiggle down, wiggle down, wiggle down. We need a lot of paint on the brush. We're gonna make some very cool little skinny little pine trees out here. Very light-handedly, right? I'm aiming for this spot right here where the two connect, because by the time I add the rest of the trees, everything else will disappear into the background, right? They don't need to be taller than the mountain right back here. Just like that. Little stick popped out in the night, right? Now we're gonna leave just a couple, I'm talking about there, just a couple little taps, and then we're gonna get down here, we're gonna push a little harder, I try to stay out of your guys' way as much as I can. The more we go down, the more we fill up that darkness, filling up that area, that little patch in the background, to where you have this fat little tree down here, right? And the more little things that you can get to stick onto it, or stick off away from it, the cooler it's gonna look. But you need a whole lot of paint. That's the whole main goal, right? The main goal is lots and lots and lots of paint on your brush. There. Little sticky little guy. Right, now we're gonna wiggle it down again. A lot of paint on the brush. Let's come over a little bit more. There we go. Try to make it as thin of a line as possible. Right down there. Okay. We know that the trunk is just a guideline for what we want it to look like. So let's say we had a couple little bits out there, over here, a couple little things, right? The more we go down, the more we fill up, the more we push onto the brush. So as you're pushing onto the brush and making it more and more and more filled, it's filling up more and more and more space, and you're losing everything behind, which is exactly what you want your foreground to do, right? You want it to push things into the distance. That's what we're trying to do out here, guys. You can make your little trees as crazy, as branchy, as non-branchy, as asymmetrical or as symmetrical as you want them to be, right? It's all up to you every time that you go to do it. There we go, gorgeous. All we gotta do is push that stuff out, right? The more we bring them down on top of this hill, the closer they're gonna live to us. So we have to then decide where those guys are gonna live. And while they've got this same color, same little dark mixture back here, we're gonna load it up onto this brush. Now don't unfollow me right here, okay? I'm telling you, it's gonna look odd, but it's meant to look into the background. So let's come out here, tap onto it. All it is going to be a little bit of darkness that's covering over our kind of forest in the air in the back, making it further and further and further away, kind of living out there on that hill or wherever it is, wherever it wants to be. And again, nothing out there has to be perfect or in it. You can kind of tap at it, you can rock it back into the shadows. All this is going to be covered, so don't worry. Right? The main thing we're going to do is take a very, very, very small amount, a little bit of our liquid white, a little bit of our sap green, because I only want a very, very small highlight on this guy. We don't need to have too many things. I don't want it to be too thick. You just want to have a little bit of light in the back there, just a little, and we're doing it for a reason, right? We do everything for a reason around here. We take our odorless mineral spirits, which is the brush cleaner, down into our titanium white, wipe it off, come over here, little guys, just make them all crazy, right? It doesn't matter what it looks like or anything, because it's in the background. It's gonna be covered. So just pop a couple little things there. Doesn't even need to be too supremely bright, honestly. Back in there, over here, wherever you want it to be. Seriously, it's in the background. Don't worry about it right now. We're not gonna be focusing on it for much longer. As soon as we pop in this next thing, then we'll go back and highlight those guys. And while we have the brush, we might as well, we've got all this paint on it, we might as well pop in, up into the bushes, into the trees, and down. So we have all these little bushy little things kind of growing at the base of those trees. We got a little bit of grass behind it, through it, in between it. Tap it, down, 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 down. All we're doing is just softening that grass area. Then we can come underneath in, grab it very lightly, pull it down, 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 down. Swipe it to the side. Right? Once you pull it down, very light, again, you swipe it to the side. That's going to give you your little reflection. Oh, what I tell you about that little area that we're trying to save, my friends. Didn't I say it was going to be gorgeous? Didn't I say that? I need more green on my palette down here as well. I'm going to have to spend way too much at Michael's tomorrow to get new colors, new canvases, and everything else. Okay, what are we looking at, guys? How are we looking? You guys! Is this one still available? Boom, ba-boom. Thank you, I appreciate it. Man, this one's looking cool. I like it, I like it, I like it. Still though, thank you, Cosmic, appreciate it. Okay, now, what we're gonna do, since we've got our background, we're gonna highlight these guys in a second. But since we've got our background over here, and we've got further all that mist, the trees in the back, oh, it's just amazing. We're gonna need to mix up a big old pile of our dark paint again, so our black, our crimson, our blue. Throw those guys down here. Just go crazy, a little bit of our green as well, because you gotta have some green in there. If you want your highlights to remain green and not go dull too quickly, right, we have to have some of that green in our base shadow color, okay? Now, we'll come back, and again, don't get mad when I do this, but we've got to come over here and very kind of gradually push harder and harder and harder as you go from top to bottom and pop in this big old stick. Then we're going to do this guy, but we're going to be pushing full blast against the canvas, right? And then making him even wider and wider and wider as we go. Because we need him to be, from top to bottom, the closest thing in our whole painting, right? And just like that, we could even do another, oh my goodness, could we do another one? Could we do one more since we've got the room? I've never done this before, but could we do one more? Oh, I dig it. I dig it. He doesn't have to be as big though. He doesn't have to be as big. There we go. There. I want the center guy to be the big one. Right? And we're taking out some of our background. We can see through to some of the background back there. That's cool, guys. That's cool. Right? All this stuff back here is going to be all bush and different things that are happening back there. Right? Let's cut our trees down. And just so, because I know I can already tell, the tree is supposed to be this dark by the time you get done. Right? For whatever reason, the lights and everything make the trees look very bright when in fact they are very dark. And they need to stay very dark in order to stay in the foreground of our canvas, right? Man, that's cool looking. So you don't have to do this part. You don't have to take them and drag them from side to side. I just do it so you can actually see how dark they're supposed to be, right? In reality versus what they may look like to you, which may be nice and shiny, and that's only because the lights make them look that way. Just like that, very dark, very close, very close. And they'll look very close when you do them. It's just all my lighting in here makes them look wildly bright. Okay, now at the base, we're gonna come back, since we've got that dark color, we'll come back in here and get it on that bushy brush, and then this stuff is just right up into there, forcing our river to turn again in another direction. How tall do you want it to go? You wanna cover up back here? Cover it up. I don't care. Right? Whatever you wanna do, it's up to you. That way, makes it again, starting higher than we were here, and then lower, which we've been doing every time, in order to make a cool little thing, just for you guys. Just for you guys out there. Hey, look at it. Oh, that's so gorgeous, a little S-shaped curve. I just love it. Now, let's see what we can do over here, right? If we get a very small amount of that blackish mix underneath there and just kind of scrape it, scrape it, scrape it, a little bit more. We're trying to deposit it onto the canvas, right? So we need a fair amount, so you can grab it. There, there. Right? Anywhere that we have this stuff, we can launch over some ground. It'll look like mud underneath our little river. It's going to be very cool. You can also take this guy very lightly, and then more and more and more and more as you get down over here to the side. Without touching our bushes. We could have done this first. That would have made more sense. It would have made more sense to do it first. But just like that. Right? Got a little glare underneath. A cool little river. It's going to be wicked neat. Now, let's take our small little fan brush. We just need a little guy. We don't need it to be too terribly big. I'm going to come over here with our liquid white into our sap green. Again, just a little bit of that paint is going to make it come off of the brush easier and stick to all this thick, crazy paint that we're using up here. Right? Remember, we don't have to go all the way down. You're never going to see everything all the way down there, and it doesn't have to be so terribly bright everywhere, right? So, try not to do the back bottom either, right? Look at that cool little thing. Wipe the brush off, clean it off, whatever you feel like you got to do. A little bit more of our liquid white back into that sap green over here. A little bit, maybe a little bit of our cad yellow on this guy too. Just to change up the flavor, as they say. Pop it in. Little things, little taps around the edge first, stay along the outside. Sometimes we gotta turn the brush. There. Up along the inside. Now your brush should be pretty dirty by now, so anywhere that you're touching is gonna be getting duller and duller and duller and duller and duller. Right? Which is not what you want sometimes. There. Little things. Sometimes it's all about that one little flick to make it look how you want it to look. Right? And if that flick doesn't work, try one more time. There. 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 Look at those little trees. Right? All things are possible, my friends. Let's grab a little bit of our liquid white again. Onto our oval brush. Up into the sepia green. A little bit of our cad yellow over there just to brighten it up. Change its flavor up a little bit. And let's leave a couple spaces for some flowers. A couple little flowery spots. Right? In order to do that, we're going to need more liquid white onto our palette. So, you guys check in. Tell me where you're watching from while I'm getting more liquid white out. Because we never seem to have enough of anything. You guys already know. There. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. So where are you guys watching from around the world? What are we trying to do? Oh, liquid white onto this brush. I remember now. I remember now. Okay, let me grab this. Let's see where you guys are from. Where are you from, man? North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, North Carolina again. Oh, I got so many North Carolinians. Ohio, Nebraska. I like it, I like it. I like it. Casablanca, watching from North Dakota. We got Scotland, Boston, Australia. You guys are from everywhere. Tennessee over on Facebook, Louisville, Kentucky. The Shire, watching from the Shire over there. Over on Facebook, on YouTube over there. Let's take a little bit of our liquid white, right? And I'm thinking very first color, right into our madder carmine. Right there. Let's get that little pinkish, there it is. The more you mash into that color, right? Come out here and just deposit a couple little bits. Don't want to have too many. Don't want to have too few, right? All things are up to us. And we can go wipe it off. Let's come back over here. Let's say, I love little bluey flowers too sometimes. Let's go into our Prussian blue with that liquid white. Again, don't have to have too many. Put on too many little things and you're not gonna like how it looks, right? Sneak a little blue right into that guy too, because they like to overgrow each other. And it's so much fun, you guys. Okay, let's get over here. We're gonna have to wash the brush out. So much fun to pick literally whatever color you wanna use for your flowers and be able to do it. It's just awesome. Again, you're in control of everything that's going on. Let's go over to our sap green again. A little bit of our cad yellow, just a little touch. A little touch. Let's pop in this guy. He's got a couple little green little bits on the top. And we rock back here and we dip under exactly how we were doing with these guys, right? Dipping under, you're trying to stay, you're trying to keep them disconnected. Have these little things that are happening out there because by the time you come back over them, you want to have that room, have some space, have something out there. Now, let's go over, we'll grab a little bit of our liquid white again. And I'm going to go straight into that cad yellow because it's such a pretty color all on its own. If you come up here, a little bit, pops, little bits of color in between, here, there, everywhere. There's little tiny little things is all you really need back in here. Now, since we're on a white canvas, you can come in and literally scrape out little sticks and twigs, which is my favorite part. Anywhere that you're growing in front of the trees, here, there, everywhere, out from the dark areas around the bottom, and you're just literally scooping up the paint and removing it from the canvas, which is a whole lot of fun. Same thing over here from your dark areas. Little bits, right? There's less of them over here that we can see because it's a little bit further away. But you have to have some sticks and some twigs and some amount of something growing somewhere out there in the night. Very cool. Very cool beans, guys. Now let's take our two brown colors. We're gonna go back and we're gonna mix these two brown colors together. So take our light brown and our dark brown, and who cares, we'll put them right there. Bang. A little bit of light brown, a little bit of dark brown. Small amount of our plaque mix into there. It's a very dark brown color now. This will be the shadow side. big old chunk of skin out of there. This will be the shadow side of our back of our trees. Right? So what we're gonna do is scoop up a little bit, come off the back side back here, and just start tapping on a little bit of that trunk. Right? The more that you tap down, the more it's going to flatten out. The more it's going to feel like bark. If you can keep that little ridge in there just by literally tapping it, it's going to stick to the canvas, and you're going to move and tap it in a new place. It's going to stick to the canvas again. You're going to move and tap it in a new place. Right? Now sometimes you need a big old amount, and sometimes you can drop that big old amount off and then go back and pick it up and deposit it in other places as well. The more little things you do, the more little things you're going to find you can really do. Especially when you get set loose on your own canvas. You're like, you know what, I don't think I need Josh anymore. I'm gonna go do my own thing. And then pow. You're gonna get a slap of reality on just how difficult doing this is sometimes. Over there, over here. I did many times. I was like, you know what, I don't need to follow a tutorial. I'll just go make it up. And then those canvases always went right in the garbage. Because I was like, oh, okay, that's, I need to practice more. So let's take a little bit more of this brown, just off the back side of our little trunky bits back here. These will be the thickest, craziest parts of the painting, the most textured bit, which means it will stand out as being the closest part of our canvas as well. Now, let's go grab what we need. We need that yellow ochre. Anytime we're doing some bark on our trees, we're gonna grab that yellow ochre color, which is like a yellowish, ochreish color. It's kind of like a dusky yellow. It's yellowish brown. All right, and what we're gonna do is into that pile, we're gonna take a whole big bunch of that yellow. We're gonna mix it into that brown pile. And that way, it's much brighter. That's what I want right there. Right? So now, as we come off of this side and we start tapping on, you'll actually see when it goes into that light to dark side of the trunk, and you get all this texture and all this chunk out there, and it's so cool. It literally makes the tree, you'll be able to feel it, make it feel like tree bark itself. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let's come off this big guy back here. Tap, 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 tap. Again, the very first tap, you're probably going to drop off too much paint. Usually happens, you drop a big old chunk up there, and you don't know the pressure to use, and this, that, and the other. And that's okay. You can come up and tap on it and just work it down. Right? The more you work it, the more you pull it down and move it down the trunk, the more it's going to move. Right? You don't want to just come over here, just waste it all. You can wipe off the blade, pick it back up, and start again on our new little guy. Did we literally make the perfect amount? That is a big old chunk right there. Again, we don't want the skin, we just want the texture. There we go. Now, let's grab our liner brush. Come over here with the liner brush into that plaque mix, that same darkish color we were using before. You take a couple of branches. They don't even need to focus. Like, we're not even going to be looking at these branches. No one's going to see them beyond a couple that we toss out, right, at the bottom, really. Everything at the top is all about to get covered, you guys. And in order to do it, we got to make up one more pile of our Paint with Josh plaque mix. So our blue, crimson, black, green. We're going to make the grack mix. Sounds funny, but yeah. Greenish black is what we're aiming for. A very dark army green color that's foresty green with black, basically. So we're going to mix all that up. Because it has the green in it, it's going to want to help stay. I like touching it just on the side of the brush, by the way, right? So we're kind of flattening the brush out. Let's decide little things that are going to start falling off of it. Up into here, little places that are going to be uncovered, untouched. Right? Some areas it'll go out a little further, maybe drop off a few more little things. All up to us and how we're putting it on. You got to cover the top. Let's cover the whole top area. You got this whole big tree that we're looking underneath now. Okay? And I know it's very scary to get up there and be like, oh no. All right, what about right out here? Oh, it goes across, and you got these whole little things right in there that you didn't even see before, but now that they're there, with all that texture, you can even hear the squishiness of it. That's going to allow us for some more cool things to stick onto our canvas, right? We can decide how big, how much they crisscross, where they go, here, there, and everywhere. The whole top of that one got just totally destroyed. And you realize why you don't need too much green or for it to be too bright on those ones in the background, because you need them to be brighter in the foreground, right? So now let's take a bunch of our liquid white, a bunch of it, a bunch of our green, a bunch of our yellow, and get the yellow ochre in there too. You want it to be squishy and weird, and then when you come out here, you want to touch it just so lightly. Oh my God, look at all those different colors in there. You get the green. Oh, look at those colors in there. Oh my goodness. That is fantastic. Okay, let's try that again. Let's get a little bit liquid white, same brush, right? Back into the green, over into the yellow ochre. Oh, it just when we smush them. Now look at all the differences in there. So when we come out here, tapping along little areas of light and dark. Not trying to get everything, oh my God. I'm trying to get everything all the same. And do you see how gorgeous that is? Oh my goodness. I love it. Look at that, dude. Oh, if you guys aren't jumping on this one now, I'm taking it out. This is mine. You can't have it anymore. Look at those. Look at those colors. Oh, goodness. Goodness. I want this one to be a little bit darker. Right there. Just a little darker. There. Oh boy, you guys. That one I love. Okay, I might end up taking this one right out. If you don't grab it right now, it will not be there for you to get later. I'm just telling you now, it's going to be removed. Woo, boy. A little bit of our liquid white. Come down here, right there. Into the darkness, dropping the white off. Just like that. Doesn't even have to be perfect. Literally, doesn't have to do little things here, there, cutting through that darkness. Oh, I love it. Okay. Yeah, look at that tree. Okay, you guys got to help me with a title for this one for sure. Help me out with a title for this guy. What are we going to name it? What should we call our little friend here? What do you guys think? What should we call our friend? Pull this back down to look more like our reflection out there. There. What are we going to call this one? You guys come up with a title, right? I am going to clean off some of these brushes. Just a little bit. Bring in a little bit of our liquid white and our brown color as well. Let's see if we can. Yes, right there. Just deposit a little bit of that brown, our dark sienna brown and our liquid white. Right? Just kind of mushing it over that plaque, just so we have a little difference out there every so often. Doesn't have to be the brightest brown you've ever seen. Right? It just needs something out there. A little bit. It's up with a big bit of skin. Get off of there. Oh, I caught it on top of my thumb. Gross. There we go. Dark. Cool. I love that, you guys. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. We can even take a little touch of this to make the liquid white to go over it. Just let it blend in. Oh, goodness gracious. Digging it. Yeah, look at that. I love it. I love it. Right, go over it one more time to get rid of some of those real bright white areas, and then scrape a couple little things that might be living out here on the edge in front of those little bushes back there. Very cool. Okay, you guys start coming up with a title. Man, that is 100% the best trees like that we've ever done. Literally. So you guys come up with a title. Remember, if you grab it during the live show, you get to pick the title forever. So if you're like, you know what? I really like this one. Grab it, right? Go check out, and then come back and tell us what the title. And I'm going to be here cleaning up these brushes while you're going to do that. Remember, if you get it during the live show, you get a spin on the spinny-winny wheel of destiny. The wheel of destiny. Get over there. You gotta grab it. Because there's only one, and I'm telling you. If it lasts to the end of the show, I'm taking it out of the store. It will be mine forever, and no one will be able to have it. We got like 6 more brushes to clean. We're very efficient at doing it. So, you guys come up with a title. Let me know what it's going to be. Hopefully somebody grabs this one because, boy, I'm just digging it. That is cute. Throw a little bird signature on there real quick, just while I got the brush in the hand. Out here. Just flying through. About to come in for a landing. I like it. I like it. Come down here, slide this old guy. Just like so. Perfect. Almost out of breath today. Okay. Yeah! Man, this one came out really, really, really neat. So let's get a cool title for it. And then we'll go through and choose. Remember, like I said, if you grab it during the show, you get to pick the title. If not, we got to pick it as a group. So start typing it in. And you never know. They may be watching on the same platform that you're watching on. The person that gets it. So you never know. They're going to want to see what you want to think their painting should be called. This is the last brush. There. Okay, what do we got for titles? I'm over here. I'm here. I'm ready. Ready. Present. What do we do? Okay. Let's see. Oh, man. Okay. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. I do offer private lessons. They are available on my site. Just type in virtual when you get over there. Or I have in-person lessons as well. 3 trees. That's a cool title. The 3 trees. Man, this one's neat. I love that extra added tree in there too. Mountain of Life. Frost Creek, Bird's Eye View. I like that one. Endor. I like that one too. Gotta have the Endorians in there. Yes, that's what they're called. Not Ewoks, Endorians. Mystic Mountains. That's a cool one. That is cool. Mystic River Bend. Let's see. We'll be doing another one soon on your show, or if your show does well. Want help with the mountain? Oh, play, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody go support Katie so she can come take a class from me afterwards. Mountains are fun. You know what the trick about mountains is the 3 P's of Paint and Josh, like I say all the time. Does anybody know what the 3 P's are? Do you remember? Just type it in. I know we still got to pick a title. We're going to pick a title right now. I just don't want to waste all that dark paint right there. I'll save it for the next show. Maybe we'll do something worthy of having all that darkness right there. That's a big old mountain of paint we don't want to throw away. So let's pick a title, and then we'll continue on with the show. It's about to hit 6, so the YouTube crew is going to take Where the Wild Things Live. I like that. Paint Pressure Practice, that's the 3 Ps. That's definitely it. Rolling River, Paradise on a Canvas. I like that for a title, too. Look at those chunky leaves on those trees, you guys. Ooh. Bird's Eye View is cool. The Nearest Moon of Endor. Serenity is nice. I like that title. I like A Myriad of Color. That's a great title, too. Evergreen Lake, I like. Serenity is cool. It's definitely captivating. Snake River. I like that. Let's go with Snake River. I like that one. Let me go, hang on. Since I'm the one that's going to be titling it, we'll go with Snake River on this guy. And remember, you can still grab it. You're just about to lose out on the chance of naming it, right? By the time that I name it. Get out of there. Get up. There we go. So you can still get it. It's the very first thing you're going to see right on paintwithjosh.com. But there's only one. And if you're not the very first one to get there, and you can't blame me for telling you or not telling you, because I'm telling you, there's only one. There we go. On the top of the canvas, wherever the easel misses. I find that doing it with your thumb is the easiest bit. Seriously. Covers it. You don't have the worry of your brush bristle overhanging the top or the front. And you get it nice and done up. Plus you get to have my fingerprint right there. This one's a Paint Josh original. Number 1933. I figured Go with the Flow would like that one. 1933. Calling it Shake River. She's into 33s. River. Boom. Boom. Painted on 7/11. By the way, did you guys get your free Slurpee today? There's still time. 2024. We're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com. But get over to 7-Eleven. Seriously. If you don't know, on 7-Eleven, they give away free Slurpees. You just got to go in and get one. That's it. Get off your tush. Go get a Slurp. Fantastic. Look at this painting, you guys. The depth and distance that we were able to achieve. Love it. So, okay. We never like the videos to go too long over on YouTube, so I love you guys over there and on Facebook. You guys have been amazing. Until I see you guys again, which will be on Facebook, will be on Monday. We'll see you guys on Monday for Monday Night Madness. You can always watch on YouTube every single day. There's a brand new video. Comes out on YouTube, and 2 videos per day over on TikTok. So, I love you guys. I can't wait to come back. We'll do it again. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And goodness gracious. Man alive.